Welcome to Team Building Cultures, the podcast designed to deliver tools and tips for improving team communication, collaboration, and fostering a culture where teams thrive. Now, here's your host, Beverly Hathorn, owner of Strategic HR Consultants.
Hello, podcast listeners, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Team Building Cultures. I am Beverly Hathorn, your host and owner of Strategic HR Consultants. Today, I'm very excited to be speaking with Robyn Balsley. Robyn is an image coach and style expert. She's going to talk to us about how we show up each day matters. Getting dressed in our new hybrid world is very confusing sometimes. With her many years in corporate sales, she understands all too well that it takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. How are your clients perceiving your team? People do judge a book by a cover. Many companies are realizing how their employees dress, whether in person or remotely, matters now more than ever. As a style expert, Robyn takes the stress out of getting dressed so that you and your team will feel confident, empowered every day, and in turn be energized to achieve your goals. That's awesome, Robyn. I'm really excited to talk to you today. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Beverly.
Yeah, this is going to be great. So you're going to talk to us about how we show up each day matters, how we look, how we present ourselves is important, and that people do judge a book by a cover, even though you're not supposed to. It's probably by some sort of inherent instinct that we have. So yeah, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it, Robyn, and tell me what, for the people who say, but I'm working at home, what difference does it make what I'm wearing?
It makes a big difference. So during the pandemic, it really got to a point where everybody was just showing up in sweats and nobody knew how to dress. And we were going through a very difficult time. So it was a time to give ourselves some grace, and I got that. But I did a lot of research during that time, and I found on the days, and my clients were doing this as well, on the days that we got up and got dressed, we felt better. Even though we were in such a terrible time, it did help get us through those days. And there's a mental phenomenon called enclothed cognition. And what it's saying is that how you show up mentally affects your day. So and my mind knows that if I put on my workout gear, I'm going to work out. If I'm going to put on my sweats, then I'm going to be having a relaxing time at home. If I'm putting on a professional outfit, I'm going to work. And your mind knows that, and it will reflect that in what you do. So it's really, it's not just something that we think about. It really does affect our minds and how we perform.
And, I can totally agree with you on that, because if you look at when you're going to, let's say, when you're going to a party or an event where there'll be dancing and fun, and when you get dressed, you just you're like, yes, this is gonna be great, because of what you have on. And the same thing, maybe when you go to a wedding, you might get a little emotional, especially if you're the mother of the bride or something like that. Just getting dressed for that. Not to mention how the bride feels when she puts on her wedding gown. So I can really see, what you're saying there. Makes complete sense. It's called enclothed cognition. Wow.
Correct. Yes.
Who knew there was such a term? So
when we're at home, we still need to get up and get dressed. So I use this great example. If you were in a conference room, you wouldn't put a bag over your head so you don't turn on your camera because you're not ready for the day. So always be ready to turn your camera on.
Yes. Always be ready to have your face seen and to, because even if you don't normally speak on a call, you never know when somebody might ask you to speak. So
Correct.
You want to be ready with your background and everything. So why does, you mentioned the mental phenomenon and closed cognition. Can you expand on that a little bit and tell us a little bit more about how that actually works in your mind?
Sure. So what it does is it affects how we feel. So our mind controls, our thoughts control how we feel and how we act. So when you're not showing up and you're not getting dressed and taking care of yourself, you don't feel as good, and then you don't perform as well. So it starts with our thought, and then it goes into our mental being, and then that's our action.
Yeah, it's interesting how many things can impact how your day winds up. I, for one, don't like driving in traffic. And when traffic is really bad, I have to position myself not to be affected or to react, because I'm one of those people that gets annoyed with drivers who cut you off, and drivers who go too slow, and drivers who ride with their blinker on for miles and miles. Some of those things affect me. So what I do is I turn on my favorite style music, and I just glide on through to get to work, so that when I finally arrive, I'm in a better frame of mind than I would be if I allowed those things to affect me, because they can. So many outside influences can affect your day and how you go about your day. You end up being a grouch sometime when you get to work.
Yes.
But if you've got that new outfit that you look really nice in, and you step up in the office and everybody tells you how nice, how can you not have a great day when that happens? So
absolutely, 100%. And I think that it starts your whole day off better. So if you wake up in the morning and as you're getting ready, thinking, how do I want to present myself today? How do I want to feel today? And it's what you put on, and you've got that one outfit that always works, wear that, because you'll feel great. And it comes across, people perceive you differently as well.
absolutely. So how do you work with companies and teams to motivate employees to, dress better or appropriately, or, how do you get people to agree to that? Because some people are like, well, this is who I am, and this is what I like to wear, and this is what I'm comfortable in. So how do you motivate people?
Well, I think, first of all, just to be really transparent, is it has to be our companies, our brand, and our people are the part of that brand. And if our people are not showing up to represent our brand in the right way, it's a part of the culture of the company. And I think when you're working at a company, this is the culture, and we want you to wear certain things. It's not asking too much, and it's actually empowering them, because right now we don't know what to wear. Where everybody's at home. Do I wear a t-shirt? Somebody else who has a button down shirt. Or do I wear a blouse? Do I wear, people are not so, but if you have it more clear, it takes the confusion out for the employees. And I think they actually appreciate that, versus you're not telling them you have to wear a certain thing, but give them guidelines. And I think it really makes a difference. And some of the companies I've worked with, they said that they empower each other, and they show up on a Zoom, and someone say, hey, I like that top. And they're talking about it, and they're making people feel better, because they've taken this training, and they all know this is what they're doing now. And it really does, they're showing up in a different way as a team. And I think that's really critical.
Yes, I do agree. Because a team is unified in their goals and their activities, and sometime in their skill and their knowledge and their ability. So we all want to look unified. We want to look like we're a team. And that works even in like creative atmospheres, because if you go someplace like maybe Google, you'll see everybody kind of casually dressed, but they're all the same. You won't see anybody, walking around in, maybe a suit and tie, or a woman in spiked 6-inch heels. You'll see everybody kind of casually, their team. So even though their image might be somewhat casual, they still all fit, which is fine. They still all are unified in the way they look. So how do we begin to figure out what to wear? I'm hearing you say that corporations and organizations can kind of give some guidelines and things like that, and that's different than a dress code. I'm hearing, but so how do we figure out what to wear?
I think as the leader in the company, you want to understand what do you want that to look like? How do you want your employees to show up in your team? And I think that's where you start, and then you start putting it together. People are not getting as dressed as they used to be. I mean, I have customers in the financial world, and it was all suits and ties, and now it's a blazer and jeans. So it has gotten more casual, but I think you can Google it and just office attire and see what resonates with you and what you'd like your team to look and feel like. And then I think from there, you can start just creating some guidelines. And again, it's not a dress code, so to speak, where it's, casual Fridays anymore. It's just, I think we have to think about it that way, that it's, you just want to come up with some guidelines that feels right to your brand, and work with your marketing team. Like it's not just an HR issue. I think it's something that work with your marketing team and how we can all come together and have the right culture and presence of our company.
Gotcha. Yeah. Most people have a closet full of clothes, but nothing to wear. I know I
Yes.
often say that, when an event or something comes up, I'll say to my husband, I don't have a thing to wear. He's like, are you kidding? It's full of clothes. Yeah, but I don't have
Exactly.
anything to wear for this. So, how do we begin to organize our closets and our thoughts so that we're quickly and readily, you understand what you don't have and what you need and what you do have.
Mhm.
So do you have any advice for us getting organized like that?
Absolutely. So that I always say my work begins in a closet, because that's where we have to start there. And there's so much in a closet, and it's not even just the clothes. It's the fact that you're still hanging on to some clothes that no longer fit you, or you've got clothes in your closet that still have tags on them because you spent too much, but you're never going to wear it. So those are the first pieces to remove from your closet. Anything that you're not wearing, or there's a reason that you're not wearing it, just remove it for now. You can box it up, save it, but at least get it out of the closet. And I think that's the number one thing, is to start thinking about what you wear. And what a lot of my clients do, and it's so helpful, is that when you're wearing something that you absolutely love and feel fabulous in, take a selfie of yourself in it and just put it in your phone and create an album. And then on that morning when you've got a big meeting and you got to get dressed quickly, that outfit always works. So it's starting to think about and paying attention. And at first it's a little bit of work, but it's not, if you just do baby steps and start eliminating things out of your closet. If you're wearing something all day long that never fit right, or you didn't feel good in it, don't put it back in your closet. Have a little bin and put it away. These little steps will start clearing that clutter. And then think about what you feel like you're missing. If I really need a blazer, write that down. So then you shop with intention, and you're thinking about what it is that you do need, and only buy the things that you need. I'm a big believer in shopping your closet. We can find outfits in our closet and we buy too much, and we buy one off. And that's why our closets get so full of things, because we're not buying with intention.
Guilty as charged.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Because I tend to just, when I shop, sometime I'm shopping for a specific event, and then I know, okay, I need a black dress, or I need, it's a white event, so I need something white. But
Right.
if I go through my closet before, I could probably find, to concur with my husband, that I don't need to buy something. But sometimes, or most of the times when I shop, I'm just shopping to, whatever catches my eye or whatever I like.
Right.
And then I get it home and realize I've got something similar to that already. I just forgot. And I'm really bad about this with shoes. With shoes, I tend to end up with nearly the same pair of shoes. Maybe the heel might be a 1/4 inch higher, or the tan might be just slightly darker, or, I end up with nearly the same shoe sometimes, which is a little embarrassing, but it happens. But yeah, I need to start shopping with intention. And I like your idea about taking a selfie of what looks good. So that, because I may have just put that together on the fly. I may have just, thrown that together.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So then, now I can remember, oh yeah, that white blouse with that blue skirt looked really good. So with the red belt.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
try that again. That's a really good idea, Robyn. I like that. Yeah.
And then also
yeah.
when you are shopping, if you have a few of these photos on your phone, you might see that, oh, I did have that beige pair of shoes and I don't need this beige pair of shoes or something like that. So another rule that I have, and I think it's really important, when you do buy something new, make sure it goes with at least 3 things in your closet. And if not, return it, because it's never going to work then. So that's another way to avoid that clutter. So you've got that piece that you bought that you loved, and at the time when you were shopping, because I do think you should bring new pieces into your closet and have, it brings you joy. Buy something fabulous, but make sure it goes with what you already have.
Yes, I'm guilty once again, because I'll buy something because I like it, and then get it home and realize I don't have shoes to wear with it. So now I got to buy shoes,
Exactly.
but
And that's how we get all the clutter.
Yes, that's how we get all the clutter. And I would be first to admit that my closets are very cluttered, and I do purge from time to time, and take to, like, shelters and things like that. I do purge from time to time.
Great.
But I turn around and I just fill it right back up again. I'm guilty of such. Yeah. So any other advice you'd like to give us particularly about showing up in the work environment or in the client or corporate environment?
I think once you know what that look is, one thing that I highly recommend, there's ways to get ready every day, and have 4, like I've got a really bright green top on that really presents well on Zoom. So have 4 different shirts, blouses, top, whatever it is that you wear, ready to go, that those 4 things always work on Zoom. So that day when you're going to be on calls, put that on, and then and you feel good in it. Like it's something that fits you well, you feel good in it. And so have those readily available. And then the other thing that I think is really key, if you've got a really busy week, and I just did this week because it was going to be a hectic week, like we meal prep your outfits on a Sunday. It takes no more than 30 minutes, and just think about your week. And if you've got an important presentation or whatever that might be, if you're going out to lunch with a client, what do you want to feel and look like? Put the whole outfit together, put the accessories, everything together. So then in the morning, you just grab the outfit and go. And you're not trying to think, what am I going to wear? And you'll feel great. And you'll be so much more. The whole thing with all of this too, it gives us an abundance of confidence because we just feel better.
Yes, most definitely. Okay. Those are some great tips. So do you have any offers or anything that you'd like to share with us today?
So the thing that I'm working a lot with now, my business started off working with individuals, and now I'm really focused more on working with teams, because I think there is this big struggle. And so I have it's called a professional styling workshop, and it's a team building workshop that I go in and I work with teams within companies and help them. How do they clean that closet? How do they organize their wardrobe, and how do they show up in a different way? And it's really empowering. So it's this professional styling workshop that I'm doing right now.
Okay. And where can our listeners sign up for that or register for that?
So that's on my website, and that's gracefulimpression.com, and just go under services and you'll see it there.
Okay. So,
and there's also a spot on my website where you can just schedule a 15-20 minute chat. And I highly recommend that, because it's just a free conversation that we can have to understand your team, what I do, and see if we even have a good fit or not. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense, and sometimes it does. So I highly recommend doing that. Just a 15-20 minute free consultation.
Sounds really great. And is gracefulimpression.com, is that where our listeners can engage with you? This is where we can contact you. We want more information.
Yes, they can contact me there. They can, if you're looking for styling tips, follow me on Instagram, which is also Graceful Impression, and Facebook. And I put tips in there all the time about how to dress and just simplify your closet. So that's another way to stay in touch with me.
Yeah, that would be great. I think I'll take you up on that, because,
Good.
I could always just, like tips. I just like, little tips and tools and things to help me function better. So you've covered dropped some really great nuggets for us today. Awesome information, especially about the enclosed metacognition. Who knew there was such a term? I
Right.
certainly didn't. But, it just tells us that how you show up and how you dress, that feeds into your mind, which eventually will feed into the type of day that you have or you've set aside for yourself. Also,
Mhm.
we need to remember to shop with intention,
Mhm.
even though it's great to have those shopping trips where you just buy whatever, but try to shop with intention and make sure that you get pieces or outfits that go with things that you already have. And that will help you interchange, from time to time and switch up your outfits, I'm sure. And then make sure that you have 4 things that work available so that you can even prep your outfits, your work week outfits, just have some
Mhm.
things that work really well. And above all, don't forget to purge those closets from time to time, just, so that we eliminate the things that we don't need or don't, so we can make room for the new. That's my thing. I got to get rid of the old so I can make room for the new. So yeah, that's great. And listeners, you can find the professional styling workshop. It's actually a team building session, which is great because people who listen to this podcast are very interested in team building. So that's a team building session. And Robyn will work with you and your team to motivate you and show the team tips for, pulling together those great outfits and how they show up. And she also has a 15-minute chat that she'll just talk with you to find out, if it's a collaboration opportunity. And you can find that at gracefulimpression.com. So that is awesome information, Robyn. And we'll also be checking you out on Instagram and, to see what tips that you have for us there. Is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap the show?
I think just embrace who we are. I just want to say, dress for the body you have now and just empower yourself. Be visible. Be visible in this world. It's a very noisy world, and be you.
And just be you, be who
Yes.
you are.
Yes.
That's wonderful. I really like that. Well, thank you so much for your time, Robyn, today. I'm sure we all got some great tips from you and that we'll be implementing soon, quickly, things we can do quickly. So thanks for being on the show. And thank you all for listening to Team Building Cultures. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Beverly.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Team Building Cultures. We hope we have delivered helpful and enlightening information to help you create your dream team. Join us next time.